If you're a free agent right now, and I'm talking about like a very good free agent that can help a team win, put them over the top. You're looking at some of the teams that are out there, and the Brooklyn Nets. Do you consider the Brooklyn Nets a yes because of the names, but because of the rocky roads that we've talked about, we hear about? Do you consider that, or are you like, oh man, they want me Nets, I'm going, or do you think about like, oh man, at some point Kyrie, at some point Ben, at some point KD could do something like, yeah, like what, like that's the thing for
I
the
mean,
Nets right now, because it's
I
been all
think,
summer.
right, to answer
You know what
your
I'm saying?
question, I think, especially if I'm an older player, or if I'm a high level player and I want to contend for a championship, it would have been hard up until this final point to make a decision to go to the Nets, because you spent the whole summer not knowing who was going to be there. If I was a role player type of player, I think maybe I'd be talking with my agent about trying to find a situation that had more stability. Stability helps for better rotations, helps for better understanding of where you are in the rotation, what kind of shots you're going to get, what your role is. Like, I'm just looking at a situation where you didn't know the mental health and emotional health of the team or any one single player. You didn't know this. You didn't know the stability of the coaching or executive staff. You didn't know if one, two, or none of the superstars were going to be there. Like, nothing was a given. And that doesn't, and I feel like actually the whole summer, the people it was probably the most unfair to were everybody else on the team besides the coaches and the superstars.
Right.
And I think, the only thing that can in my experience now of NBA basketball, is now the only thing that can fix this and cure it, besides having, again, a staff full of great sports psychologists and team therapists, is winning.
And
The
availability.
only thing I'm gonna say, the
Because if you're
only
available,
thing,
they have a chance to win. Go ahead.
yes, but I would say my answer and my thought is the only thing at this point that can fix the messiness of what's happened with the Nets is winning, because winning in sports does cure and cover all. So if the Nets are winning, people will easily forget that this summer was just all over the place, that Katie, asked for a trade. They'll compliment them on how they made it work, and how they got it together, the role players that fit, and Kevin Durant again being talked about as the greatest player in the world, which he's absolutely a candidate for. But I think, like, yeah, people should feel like it's going to be hard. Like, it, if losing happens a lot, it puts extra pressure on conversations about Nash. Does he make it through the season? How this summer went? Did the Nets have enough time to properly prepare and get ready for this year? So they definitely have put added pressure and eyeballs on themselves.
And I'm gonna say this too, Roz. We just talked about how Shaq and Kobe didn't get along or didn't hang out off the court and made it work on the court. This is a situation like that. But it's players, staff, management, like it's everybody now. Can you make it work? Can you, Steve Nash, figure out a way to make things work to win? They have to win. That's just what it is. And like you said, will he make it to All Star break? Like, because of this, I mean,
Right.
it's just like they
And I would
have a
love
lot
to
of
see
eyeballs.
I would love to see the Nets have the ability to have a full season of continuity. So even if they did move Nash halfway through the season, that's just another part of the story of they've never really been able, since the beginning of the KD and Kyrie era, to put together a normal season. Like, every
Yeah,
single thing that could
right.
possibly go wrong, that you can even imagine to go wrong, has. Like, there's literally been no fans, a literal global pandemic, like changing rosters, players in, players asking for out, injuries,
Injuries.
players
Hmm.
missing, being in a state where a lack of a vaccine meant you couldn't play half the games. Like, even that, whether you agree with it or not, ended up being very consequential, clearly. And, like, COVID disruptions, injury disruptions, like, we never had the chance, in their defense, to actually see this team put together a full season of hoops, and they've already kind of stepped on themselves to have a full off season right now to work on integrating everybody and Ben Simmons and for this season. They are not entering as cleanly as they could have had the chance to, you know?